Hello, we're at the LSCC and we're here with the famous Andy Lanning, artist, writer extraordinaire, part half of the DNA team, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. And I would describe as one of the part creators of the whole Marvel cosmic scene, really, because without them, it would still be dead. I've got so much to talk to you about. Okay, because right now, you're doing something called Exile?
We will be. That's a crossover that we're doing between the New Mutants, which Dan and I are writing, and Journey into Mystery, which Kieran Gillen's writing. So we've got a little 5-part adventure that will be starting up. I think it's in May. I think so. We may have to check on that, but which starts with a prologue issue, which we all three of us wrote, and then Kieran does part 1 in Journey into Mystery, part 2 New Mutants, part 3 back to them, part 4 to New Mutants. But it all takes place over the course of 1 month's publishings because it's a double ship month.
Wow!
So you get it all in one hit, done and dusted in 1 month, 5 issues.
So it's actually quite a positive thing for people because they're going to be able to read the whole story very quickly.
Yeah, it's not like I mean, if you think about it, you're getting 5 issues, which under a normal publishing schedule it'd be like 5 months worth of story stuff there. Now you get it all in one hit. We're describing ourselves as we're the decompressed crossover, and we're like a little palate cleanser between these slightly heavier weight ones that are happening around us.
Yes.
The little thing the X-Men fighting the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's like, no, come and have a little bit of fun with the New Mutants and the Asgardians as it all kicks off in San Francisco.
Are we going to see more of your cosmic scene? We've seen Annihilators, and we've seen Annihilation, and we've seen Annihilators Earthfall. What have we got next?
Well, as far as the Marvel Cosmic is concerned, there are Marvel have definitely got cosmic plans for stories, and which are all hush hush and top secret. If you want a hit of good cosmic fun and games from Dan and myself, we're going to be doing a creator-owned book with Boom Publishing.
Oh wow!
Which is called Hypernaturals, and that's going to be coming out in the summer. And it's basically it's our version of a cosmic book and team that we've built from the ground up. So it's I guess its DNA is something along the lines of it's 25% Legion of Superheroes, 30% Guardians of the Galaxy. It's got a little bit of Watchmen in there. It's
You've done quite a bit for DC now as well.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's funny the way our career has charted itself working with the two companies. We seem to have a sort of longer stint at one for a while whilst doing bits and bobs with another. So we started off at Marvel. We did when we first started writing for American comics, we did a 3 or 4 year run on the Punisher. So we started well and truly on Earth,
right.
And then went to DC and did the original series of Resurrection Man. And then went back and did, and we did that for about 5, and that went into Legion of Superheroes and Legion Lost. And then we went back to Marvel and did all the cosmic stuff there. And
if people wanted your ground stuff, there was still Hero for Hires as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, which was funny because people were saying to us, oh, you're doing a sort of street level Marvel crime book. Surely that's odd for you guys because you're so cosmic. And we're like, no, we started off with the Punisher. You don't get more street level than Punisher. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, our passion is that grand sci-fi space epic stuff because it's the stuff we grew up reading, and we said this all along. We're doing the Marvel cosmic stuff. We were so pleased to be able to play with those toys. Mainly, number one, no one was playing with them at that time, so we were like, can we use this character? Yeah. Can we use that? Yeah. And it was like, okay, let's just and number two, the characters are part of our childhood. I grew up reading Nova. Nova was my number 1 book. It was a book I read from number 1.
It's one of my favourite series, actually. I have to tell you, Nova, phenomenal. That was a brilliant masterpiece.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I mean, and to be fair, it's like it was fun and an honour to write it because of the fact that we grew up reading it.
It's actually made me go back and read the original because I'd never read the original. Your Nova was the first set of Nova stuff that I had the pleasure of reading.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, that's great as well if you can point people back to the classic stuff as well, because one of the things Marvel do, which is quite clever off the back of these, where we're throwing old characters at them, like characters like Rocket Raccoon and Groot now, who've cropped up in the past, Warlock and Star-Lord.
That's been a brilliant success, though. I mean, I wasn't convinced at first. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, oh, what are they doing with these characters? And then all of a sudden, you're just like, it brings an element of lightness to something that could be quite serious, intergalactic wars and stuff. And then it brings a brilliant little another facet to the story.
Yeah, no, I mean, those characters were fun to begin with. They were, and we got a really big tip of the hat to Keith Giffen, because he was with Andy Schmidt, the editor who first started the Annihilation stuff. Keith was the architect of that, and we kind of like picked the ball up and ran with it. And we'd always wanted to do Nova. We'd had a Nova pitch with Andy from a couple of years before Annihilation, and that hadn't actually got off the launch pad. So he remembered that we were passionate about it. So when Annihilation came apart, both he and Andy Schmidt and Keith Giffen said to us, look, we know you guys love this, do you want to do it? Just here's where he has to start, here's where we want him to end. Whatever you do with it is up to you. So we then really ran with it, and then after that we did Annihilation Conquest, where we got to to play and pull the strings, and Keith wrote the Star-Lord series off that.
How does it feel, I know this is a bit of a strange question I suppose, but how does it feel now that I would say that a lot of fans are actually following the artist and the writer as opposed to the series? With a lot of things, oh, I collect Spider-Man, oh, I collect Captain America. You've kind of put yourself into one of these small areas of niche where they say, I follow JMS, I follow Andy and Dan, basically, and that's become quite a thing now. So there, you've got your own following, and it means that when you go to another publisher, you're taking people with you.
Well, I think the more you get into comics, and the more you get into understanding that there are different people working on the comics, and that they have their own style, their own approach to stuff, particularly on the art side. Because I think initially people do follow artists more than writers. I think the balance has shifted a little bit, strangely, over the last 5 or 6 years or so. Is that it's quite a lot of comics now are writer-driven, whereas it was always the art-driven. It's the artists I follow, and I come from it from the art point of view anyway, because of the inking side of stuff. But to get into that area where people are following because they know that they respect what you do, and they're going to take that with them to something else because they think they're going to get a good comic off the back of it. That's great. That's a real sort of like honoured position to be in, because basically people are saying, we like what you do so much, we will go somewhere else with you because we enjoy the way you write and what you do with your stories. And like I say, there's no greater sort of compliment you can be paid than that.
Is there anything left that you still would like to conquer in the comic world? Have you got a character or something that you as a child read, or something that you've always wanted to do that you just haven't quite got there yet? I'm sure there is. I don't think I can put my finger straight on it, because we've been very fortunate to have written quite a lot of stuff over the years, because we were figuring this out the other day. We've been doing it now for 25 years, so that's a long old shot, and probably some of your listeners aren't even that old yet. So, but yeah, I'm sure there would be. I mean, Dan and I have always taken the point of view we never say no to anything, because we like to find that there's something interesting in whatever you could. You are workaholics.
Yeah, well, you've got to pay the mortgage, mate. But again, that attitude, like recently we wrote Transformers for IDW.
Right.
And we've never been massive Transformers fans. Totally aware of them, because the man over there, Simon, who was working at Marvel UK when Dan was an editor there, and they had their own Transformers comic going. So we were always aware of it, but never ever written it. So when they offered us it, because again Andy Schmidt, the editor from Annihilation, was working there, and said, guys, do you want to come on board and do some issues? We were like, don't really know much about it or have that much interest in it, but why not? Because of that reason. And so we researched it, we read it, got into it all, and we come up with our little story arc, and so we got to write Transformers for a little while, which was great fun.
One last question.
Yeah.
How important it's in getting into the industry is about who you know and what you know. Who you know is more important, say, than what you know, rather than talents.
Well, it's I mean, the what you know, I think, it comes under the talent side of things, because the who you know will open the door for you, but if you're absolutely crap, there's no, the what you know then comes into play. So it's one of those be careful what you wish for moments. If you've got people who can get you in there, then you better back it up, because you're going to make them look foolish and yourself look foolish in the same thing. So, doors are opened the more that you do. You get to meet and talk to more people, and people slightly higher up the totem pole and stuff. So there's no substitute for talent. If you're talented, you will get work eventually. It's just getting people to look at that talent. So and then the one follows the other. Like I say, the baseline is to be good, to be very good first. Yeah.